Love espresso, drip coffee, and cold brew? With the Ninja Luxe Cafe, if you can crave it, you can brew it. Espresso? Balanced. Drip coffee? Rich. Cold brew in a flash. With Barista Assist technology, you brew with no stress and no guesswork and make perfect silky microfoam hands-free from dairy or plant-based milks. Shop the Ninja Luxe Cafe at ninjakitchen.com.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
A massage chair might seem a bit extravagant, especially these days. 8 different settings, adjustable intensity, plus it's heated, and it just feels so good. Yes, a massage chair might seem a bit extravagant, but when it can come with a car, suddenly it seems quite practical. The all-new 2025 Volkswagen Tiguan, packed with premium features like available massaging front seats, it only feels extravagant.
You set the table, put on a playlist, even made the lasagna from scratch. And now you're wearing it. OxyClean Max Force Spray tackles tough, set-in stains the first time. Adulting is hard. Fighting stains shouldn't be. OxyClean Max Force. It's not clean unless it's OxyClean.
Today's top story, the flavor merger of the century between the Peanut Butter Group and Chocolatey Corp. Joining me is a PBC executive.
Thanks for having me, Barry.
Now, how did you know the merger and the byproduct of it, Jif peanut butter and chocolate flavored spread, would be a success?
You know, it was a gut feeling, a rumbling, if you will. Besides, they're two titans of taste.
Very true. Goes great with pretzels.
And pancakes.
Apples too, I bet. Try Jif PBC today.
Hello, and welcome to the Assassin's Creed Lorecast. We are so excited to bring you this show.
Our podcast is all about unraveling all of your favorite mysteries from the Assassin's Creed games. Each episode, we'll be talking about a different topic in the Assassin's Creed universe. From Pieces of Eden, solar flares, and the Isu, to the Hidden Ones, the Order of Ancients, and of course, the Animus. We will seek to uncover it all.
So join us, and maybe even take a leap of faith.
Hello and welcome to the Assassin's Creed Lorecast. My name is Shelby. You also know me as She-Cup, and I am here with my co-host.
Hey, I am Austin or Teacup.
Yes, you are. So we are back with a little bit different kind of episode. This is not strictly a lore episode, and that's because we've had a lot of new information coming out about Assassin's Creed Shadows, the upcoming game that will be released in November. So we thought we would do kind of an overview episode of everything we've learned so far about the game. So I know Austin he's got a whole list of things that we've learned so far between the trailer, between Ubisoft Forward. So I'm just going to turn it right over to him.
So if you haven't seen, on Monday, Ubisoft Forward happened and they showed an extended gameplay clip of AC Shadows. Not even just an extended gameplay. They had a gameplay trailer, and then afterwards they had a dedicated segment where they walked through and they explained a lot about what would happen with the AC gameplay, the Shadows gameplay, which looks, in my opinion, I have nothing but positive things to say about this game. I have nothing but really good expectations. When I look at it, I mean, my only hesitation in this game is its price. I do think it's a little pricey, especially if you are like me and a Dragon Age fan and an Assassin's Creed fan and a Star Wars fan, you've got 3 big games coming out, all of which could well cost you over $300 just for base games.
Yeah, the price is a little prohibitive. I mean, we're looking at the special edition, which is even worse. But I think the base game for all so like there's like a basic level that's $70, and then there's like another level that has like all the content that's $90. If you want to get all the content, all the story, you have to buy the $90 version.
I think it's actually like 109 or something like that. But
oh dang.
Yes, so that is a little bit prohibitive. But again, like this game looks really, really great. We know that it's going to be around the same size as Assassin's Creed Origins, which is smaller than both Valhalla and Odyssey. But Origins was still the biggest Assassin's Creed game at its time. And I still, like, to this day, have not explored every inch of Origins map.
Right. I was going to say, I've heard people talking about, in regards to the price, kind of complaining that like, oh, this expensive game is going to be a small game. And the reality is, yes, it is expensive, but it's not a small game. It's nowhere near the size of Mirage. Mirage was a small game, but, being the size of Origins is smaller for sure than Valhalla and Odyssey, but it's still by no means a small game.
Yeah, definitely. And Origins had so much content, even without the 2 DLCs that they added with there, there were so many side missions, there were so many places to explore, different dungeons to cater to, and just knowing a little bit and seeing like the way that Odyssey worked and Valhalla worked with side quests, probably a game with a lot of stuff in it and a lot of unique stuff. Like if we think about the side quests in Valhalla, they're not just all run and fetch missions. Like the side quests in Valhalla, the little mysteries that you did, all had like a unique little story. None of them played exactly the same. The mission ones, not just there were other mysteries that were like fetch quests and stuff like that. But there was a good deal of stuff in there. And I think that we can expect a good deal of stuff in Assassin's Creed Shadow. So let's get into kind of what we saw with the gameplay here. So this is more like gameplay, like overall mechanics, not combat, just overall like how the game will feel. So we will be able to choose different routes when it comes to an assassination mission. So I think this is very similar to how you would do missions in Assassin's Creed Unity and Assassin's Creed Syndicate, where there would be different modes you could do. You could take a more stealth approach where you try to sneak in. You could take a infiltration route where you try to disguise yourself or get a key. Like there were other ways to unlock different parts of the mission. So it's similar to that, but in this way, you will have 2 routes where you could do something as Naue or Yasuke. And one would be a stealthy approach, and one is more of a let's get in the face and do all of that. Now, I don't think that this means that Yasuke will not have stealth capabilities, because I do think that he will. He's just not as equipped for it as Naue is. I've seen the concept art and all that stuff, like Yasuke will have a hidden blade, like all of those things exist. But both protagonists in this will have a variety of weapons and gears that we can choose. In the trailer, we saw Yasuke working with like a spiked, like bludgeoning weapon. I forget what it's called, and his samurai sword. Basically, combat in this and how this will work is going to be similar to Valhalla, where we're looking at a dodge and parry system. There will be different stances, which I hear is similar to Ghost of Tsushima. I have not played that game, so I do not know from experience in that. We'll be able to mix and match these combos, and enemies will have armor, which I think is similar to kind of like a guard or stamina that we saw in Valhalla, where we can stun enemies and then do combos and executions. Very fluid, very not as fast paced as Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Like, I don't think we're going to be able to run into a group of guards of 20 guards and come out of that easily. I think combat is going to be a lot more, not like 1v1, but a lot more like we need to plan out and fight in small groups. I would basically compare this to like Sekiro, where like you can't just go in and fight everyone. You have to take out the smaller guys first, and then you can go in and fight some more people. If you get overwhelmed, you're going to be in trouble. And I think that's someplace that we're going to get with that. Another point to say is that when you get to the game, we were told at the beginning, Yasuke and Naoe will not be like interchangeable. You will have to play missions as them separately. But once they team up and become united as allies, then we can switch seamlessly between them. And the switch is seamlessly, as we saw in the gameplay. You can just, it's very integrated, very immersive into the gameplay style. We didn't see any loading screens when we were in there, which I'm sure there will be loading screens. Like, it's just how games work. Like, they have to have some type of loading screen to be able to render the graphics. Technology isn't that advanced.
And probably never will be. Yeah,
right.
No, that's totally fine with me. I did notice there were no loading screens, but that is not something that bothers me personally. And I just feel like the criticism of, it has too many loading screens, unless it's like literally every minute, is a little overblown.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Elder Scrolls games can be really bad about that because you have a loading screen after every little piece, and it can get annoying after that. Now, we are arriving at the point, which is the thing that I am most excited about, which is the view of stealth in this game. I wrote that stealth is off the wall, literally.
Well, and I think the thing about it is, in the trailer that they showed, there were so many new options for what you can do in stealth. And I think that is huge, especially when we're coming off of a game. We're coming off the last big RPG game as Valhalla, where stealth is basically like shunted and pushed off to the side. I'm excluding Mirage because Mirage was not an RPG game. And we know that this game is going to be more RPG. So for me, this is a really good sign.
Yes. So stealth is off the wall, literally. The environment is so interactive, and that's one of the things that I brought in there. But we have various tools. Tools that assist in stealth and assassinations. We watched as Naoe like had a dagger on a rope and threw it, and then like assassinated at range. And that's one of the points. Like, we get assassinations at range. Light and shadows play a huge role. We watch that Naoe takes out like a paper lantern and extinguishes it and is able to sneak through where she would have been found. She is not in there, which I think gives a much more realistic like view of adding shadows and stuff like that. Makes you feel like, okay, I'm really trying to sneak through here and use like natural environment, not I have magical powers that allow me to sneak. And then one of the best things that have a lot of people excited, and me and True, is that the doors in the Japanese castles, the sliding doors that have the paper in them, we can assassinate through them because they're breakable. So we can assassinate through them, and it just adds a bunch of opportunities. We were super excited. As I said, throwing knives are back, which they were back in Mirage, but they're back again in a main game. And then we see them, like, someone's about to walk into a room and discover Naoe, and she uses her grappling hook, which we'll talk about in a minute, to get up on the ceiling and hide on the ceiling, which has never been really, like, able to do. And, like, the animations are so much smoother than I've ever seen in an Assassin's Creed game. Like, they have heard the community talking about, we want more fluid parkour. Like, the parkour in the RPG trilogy has been so awkward. And I think this game delivers on that. And with that, we have the grappling hook, which is a kind of, I would say, a reintroduction after from Assassin's Creed Syndicate, but it will have realistic physics, which is one of the points that they decided to bring up, is that your speed in which you, like, if you grapple onto something at a full run, you will swing farther than you would if you just did it from a standstill. And so your speed and your physics and all of that will affect how the grapple works, which I think is a really nice touch. And then the last thing is that our environments are so much more interactive and destructive. You can destroy your environment. We see a video of Yasuke tipping over a bowl of fruit to help use in combat and throw his enemies off balance. We watched him throw people into stuff and damage them and breaking stuff, assassinating through the doors, all of that kind of stuff using the environment, which we saw a little bit of Mirage in that we could collapse scaffolding to like help us escape the guards. But this is so much more. But yeah, that's all the awesome stuff we saw in the game trailer, and I could not be more excited.
Yeah, I think it looks really amazing. It has taken me a long time to get used to stealth and to like be good at it and like view it as a core part of the games, because usually, coming into Assassin's Creed, like that was the thing I struggled with most. That was the thing that I had done the least of in other games, because I very much am like, I'm just going to charge in and fight kind of situation. But, I've had to get over that, obviously, playing Assassin's Creed. But this stealth looks so good. And it is really the first, like, I know I haven't been around for that many new Assassin's Creed games, but it's the first one that I can really remember and look at and say, okay, stealth looks interesting. Stealth looks like more than just something you have to kind of suffer through, because there's so many now with this, there's a lot of different ways that you can take it. Like you don't just have to go up to someone and assassinate them from the shadows. Like you could climb up to the roof, like up in the little alcove thing. You can, go underwater. And yes, we had underwater, we had haystacks, but it just seems a lot more dynamic than it has in past games, which is really exciting.
Right. And then one thing, we haven't been told otherwise, but I assume that difficulty will be as customizable as it has been in the previous games. That is something that a lot of modern games are putting in. I mean, we have been even told that the new Dragon Age game will have these abilities of really tweaking the difficulty rather than just like an easy, medium, hard. It's like, okay, we can adjust how the stealth difficulty is versus the combat. Like if I don't want to focus on stealth and I want to focus more on combat, I can cater my game to that, which I think is a good move, because you'll catch more gameplay. People who want to just hear the story and like don't have to worry about learning, oh, I had 1 foot outside of the shadow and so I got caught, which is the kind of stealth I like, but other people won't. For the last part of...
What does every USAA member have in common? Family. We're one big family who supports the military community and their eligible families. And if you, your parent, or spouse served, you could join our family and save big on auto insurance. Visit USAA.com/join today to check your eligibility. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
Eczema isn't always obvious, but it's real. And so is the relief from Ebglyss. After an initial dosing phase, about 4 in 10 people taking Ebglyss achieved itch relief and clear or almost clear skin at 16 weeks. And most of those people maintain skin that's still more clear at 1 year with monthly dosing.
Ebglyss, lebrikizumab LBKZ, a 250 milligram per 2 milliliter injection, is a prescription medicine used to treat adults and children 12 years of age and older who weigh at least 88 pounds or 40 kilograms with moderate to severe eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, that is not well controlled with prescription therapies used on the skin or topicals, or who cannot use topical therapies. Ebglyss can be used with or without topical corticosteroids. Don't use if you're allergic to Ebglyss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Ebglyss. Before starting Ebglyss, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Searching for real relief? Ask your doctor about Ebglyss and visit ebglyss.lilly.com or call 1-800-LILY-RX or 1-800-545-5979.
This summer, try the new Strato Frappuccino blended beverage at Starbucks. It's the classic blended iced coffee you know and love, now topped with a creamy layer of handcrafted brown sugar cold foam. Available for a limited time. Your Strato Frappuccino is ready at Starbucks.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode, I just have some questions for you and me to answer. And then the first one is just, what was your highlight of the trailer?
I think for me, it really is just seeing the world, because it honestly, it looks so full. And so, like, even down to the smallest details have been thought about. That's really how it looks to me. With the whole pond that Naue kind of swims through, and we saw that like a couple different ways. So to me, it's just kind of like they've really thought about every aspect of this game. And you don't always get that. You really don't always get that with, bigger games, bigger gaming companies. And so it just made me really, really excited to get this game and to play it.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything that you just said. And just to add to that, in this, there's always been a point in like these Assassin's Creed gameplay trailers where I have like been like, oh my gosh, that was so awesome. And mine was when Naue is standing on one side of like a ravine, and she basically throws a knife and pulls herself across it to be able to assassinate this person across there. And I really like the ability of like watching how different cultures create assassinating opportunities. Like the tools and skills that Basem has are different than what Naue has or what Ezio has, because they're in a different culture. And so they have developed different skills. And I just thought that was a really nice touch that they're doing in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second question is, what mechanic are you most excited for?
You already know the answer to this. I love the throwing knives. So it's very much a tie between that and the being able to assassinate someone through a door. Like, that is just so badass.
I really liked the swimming with the little bamboo reed. I think I'm excited for that kind of stuff. And I just really liked all the parkour and like the climbing on the ceiling and other things like that. Oh, I'm so excited that they brought back like hiding behind cover that they took out. I'm hoping this probably means, unfortunately, that they're bringing back tail missions, like when you have to tail someone, which are not always my favorite. But I just like, let me like cower behind a wall or a crate or something like that. That would make sense for me to hide behind, not just like, oh, I stand here awkwardly. And so I'm really excited about that.
Yes, I'm also really excited about that. That one looks really cool too.
And then the next question is, do you think you'll play as one protagonist as your primary, or do you think you'll switch equally between them?
I don't know. I've really been trying to think about this question since you sent me the list, because I would say normally when I play games, I do default to the female character. However, I just said earlier in this episode, I also tend to default to the more like brash, let's just go in and fight character. And it feels like to me that Naue is the more subtle, the more sneaking, the more stealth character, whereas Yasuke is more of the we're just going to go in, we're going to fight character. So I really don't know who I'm going to default to, but it is really exciting to me. It's really exciting to me that we're going to get basically a game where you have to play as both characters, but you also get that choice in there. That's really exciting to me, because I think it's a good way to balance the A, narrative that they want to tell, with B, that kind of player choice where, yes, you do get to have some kind of a choice. No, it's not a true RPG. Like, you get to create your whole entire character, but we're still kind of honoring those themes of the RPG.
Mm. Yeah, and I think it also helps with from a lore perspective, because it's not like, Odyssey or Valhalla, or even in some cases Syndicate, where it's like, oh, this mission, we don't know if Jacob or Evie did this mission, so you can do them as both. Whereas this is like, Naue is not going to have the same it might be the same mission, but how she approaches it versus how Yasuke approaches it is not going to be the same, which fits with the historical narrative because two people can help achieve an objective. And I'm really excited for it to like look like we're having a tag team and a team unit in this protagonist.
Yes, which I also think, again, speaks more to the RPG element of it, because an RPG, you typically have a party, you typically have companions that follow you around. And so kind of having that team aspect, it goes in with that. While, yes, you're not going to have like a true party like you would in a traditional RPG, you're still getting elements of like, yes, we have several characters. Yes, we have a group that we're building on. So I think that's a good point too.
And then my last question before we just do a wrap up, and I'll let you close out the episode with our patrons and a review, is anything you want to see in the game that you didn't see?
You know, I don't think so. I think the thing about it, I feel like I can't really answer this question because I'm not sure. I guess I just feel like there's so much unknown about the game. Like we still don't know. Like we still don't know exactly like where it's going to take place, like more primarily cities, primarily rural. Like we just have so many unknowns still. So I feel like a lot of the things that maybe people want might be coming. We just haven't been told about it yet.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. When I wrote this question, my answer was I want an answer if there is like what is happening with the modern day storyline.
Yeah.
Like, are they ditching it for somewhere else where they're going to tell the modern day story? I just think it's an important aspect of the game. And I know that people have different opinions, but I believe Assassin's Creed is both modern day and past. And it's not just a historical thing. Like there are stakes that the history has for the modern day. And I think that that's an important part of the game.
Yeah, and I completely agree. And I do think that's the kind of first thing that pops into my mind when I read this question. But I think that they are probably holding off to give us that answer so that they don't alienate anyone from the game, which to me is a little bit cowardly. But at the end of the day, I do very much agree with you that you can't have Assassin's Creed without the modern day. And I know we've had games where we didn't have it. I know that. But I do feel like an Assassin's Creed game that doesn't have modern day is always going to be missing something.
I agree. And that is a big part of Mirage that I think is one of Mirage's failings, is that it doesn't really have a modern day tie-in. But with that, that's really all we have for this episode. I'm going to turn it over to you to thank our patrons and do a review and then close out the episode.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for putting this information together for us. And thank you so much to everyone who is one of our patrons. If you want to become a patron, you can do so by finding us at patreon.com/ACLorecast. You can get all kinds of merch, fun rewards, early access to episodes, ad-free access to episodes, and you can also get your name read out on the podcast. Thank you so much to Hassel the Hoff, who is a new patron. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you on Patreon chat soon. And at certain tiers, you can get your name read out every week. So if you're interested in that, sign up at the link in our episode description. And if you can't support us financially, we do understand, and you can still support us. The next best way to do so is to leave us a rating, review, comment, wherever you can leave us kind words. If you do that, we'll read it out on a future episode of the show. And the one I have to read today comes from Sydney S., who commented or who left a review on Apple. And they said, "Love it all. 5 stars. Love the lore, love the banter, love the podcast. I really, really love the character deep dives, and I would love an entire season of them." Smiley face. Thank you so much, Sydney, for that awesome review. I think you might be happy with our season that's coming up, so stay tuned. And then the last thing I kind of have to shout out is our Discord server, the Cups Podcasting and More. You can find a link to it in our episode description. We have a fun time. If you want to theorize about shadows, get in on any other new gaming news, that is the place to be. You definitely don't want to miss it. So thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Assassin's Creed Lorecast. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Assassin's Creed Lorecast. You can find us on Twitter at AC Lorecast.
If you have any lore questions or topics to unpack, join our Cups Podcasting and More Discord server. It's the best place on the internet. You can also support us financially through our Patreon. Find us on patreon.com/Assassin's Creed Lorecast. The Assassin's Creed Lorecast is part of the Robots Radio Network. For more information about the Robots Radio Network, join the Discord server via the link in our episode's description.
If you enjoyed the show or learned something new today, please subscribe, leave us a review, and join the Patreon. And if you enjoyed our intro and outro music, make sure you give a big thank you to Pipeman Studios. Thank you, Pipeman. Thanks again for listening to the Assassin's Creed Lorecast. And always remember, Assassins, stay in the shadows to serve the light.
This episode is brought to you by FX's Alien Earth, the official podcast. Each week, host Adam Rogers is joined by guests, including the show's creator, cast, and crew, in this exclusive companion podcast. They will explore story elements, deep dive into character motivations, and offer an episode-by-episode behind-the-scenes breakdown of each terrifying chapter in this new series. Search FX's Alien Earth wherever you listen to podcasts.
Want to live better? We've got a lot of work to do. Join Chris Hemsworth in National Geographic's new Disney Plus original series, Limitless. Live Better Now.
I'm diving headfirst into cutting-edge science to uncover 3 powerful secrets to living better right now. The growth that occurs through any challenging experience is really what we seek.
Chris Hemsworth stars in Limitless. Live Better Now. Now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu.
It's showtime.